So we can pull back the cat's tongue, and we can see all those ridges in its mouth like that. See that hard surface at the top of the mouth, and we can see over here, this is the hard palate. The soft palate, unfortunately, is a little farther back, right? So we're not able to see that unless we dislocate the jaw of the cat. But we're not going to dislocate the jaw of the cat, which means if there's a pin stuck in its mouth, you're likely going to say it's the hard palate, right? Okay, what's next?
No, the tongue connected by the lingual frenulum.
Which we can see over here, the base of the tongue. So if we pull the tongue up, we can see it attaching the base of the tongue to the base of the mouth, right? What's that called? Okay.
The lingual frenulum.
Frenulum. Okay, next.
Just go overhead.
Cavity locate the greater omentum with adequate tissue.
Okay. Also, there was the papillae on the tongue there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which we can just see the surface of the tongue. Okay, and then
Okay, that's page 80 to
omentum. So this is usually dressed a little more like this. All right. So this is the greater omentum. It's going to be covering all our visceral structures down here, and what it's going to be doing is it's going to be providing some protection, some cushioning for the organs on the anterior and on the lateral sides, because it's going to be kind of a fat reserve. As that means it's also going to, as a fat reserve, it's also going to be able to produce energy from that, from that fat digestion. But mainly, its job is going to be cushioning and protecting those organs. Okay, so we are going to pull back the greater omentum, and then we're going to do what?
Now let's talk about the esophagus.
Oh, sorry.
Well, because I was weird because it's like...
I heard omentum somewhere. All right. Okay, so the esophagus. So we know the trachea has C-shaped cartilage, right? And it has that C-shaped cartilage to allow expansion of the esophagus. So the C-shape is in this position on the cat right now, right? And that means the esophagus is going to be underneath. So when food comes through, it can bulge in and invade that territory, because you're not going to be breathing and swallowing at the same time, unless you're choking. All right, so we know that if we move the trachea off to the side, the windpipe here, then we can see part of the esophagus underneath here. And we'll be able to see it a lot easier as we move down here, and we can see the esophagus right over here, as it's going to penetrate the diaphragm in the esophageal hiatus of the diaphragm over here. That's going to be the passageway that allows the esophagus to come through into the stomach and connect to the stomach. So we can see the stomach here and the esophagus that's penetrating, coming through here. So every once in a while you might have a little bit of uncomfortable shifting. Something moves that shouldn't have moved. Yeah. Then you might have that stomach that penetrates into that hole, into that esophageal hiatus. And if that stomach comes up here, then what's going to happen is the esophagus can be exposed to some acids that it shouldn't be exposed to, and it can cause some damage to the esophagus. And it's also going to be known as a hernia, right, which is that penetration of tissue through a hole that it shouldn't be penetrating through. All right, so then, so we've got our esophagus, and
Nowhere connected to the cardiac sphincter.
okay, so that means that that connection between the esophagus and our stomach must be the cardiac sphincter. So if that, we can't see it because it's obviously on the inside, right? But we can see where the esophagus is coming up here and connecting to the stomach. So if it's so the cardiac sphincter, then what's its function going to be?
To prevent food from going...
Yeah, prevent regurgitation, right? So if you have mechanical and chemical digestion going on here in the stomach, and you've got acids breaking down food, you've got stomach churning stuff around. If something pushes up into the esophagus, the big difference between them is that we have a lot of mucus producing, or a lot of mucus production in the stomach, which is going to protect those cells from all the acids and things. But we don't have that in the trachea so much. So what's going to happen is if something gets past that sphincter and you have regurgitation into the esophagus, then it's going to give you the sensation of heartburn. That's right. That's what heartburn is. That's the feeling you're getting, is some regurgitation getting past your cardiac sphincter. All right. So if that's the cardiac sphincter, what portion of the heart is that likely to be?
13 is the...
We're going to flip to page.
Observe the stomach and note the greater and lesser.
What page should we be looking at? Okay, so here we can see the esophagus coming in, and then we can see the stomach over here, so that's the position of the cardiac sphincter, which means that we're looking at the level of the cardiac stomach, right where that sphincter is. And then we can see just lateral to that is going to be the fundus. So this region over here is going to be the fundus of the stomach, right? So this is our fundus of the stomach, and this is our following along our bottom line, and this is going to be our greater curvature of the stomach here, right? And this is going to be then, if that's the greater, this is the lesser curvature. And then we follow the body of the stomach, and then we come over here to this region, and this region is much harder than this region over here. And that tells us that we're in a new part of the stomach called the pyloric, right? So we're in the pyloric stomach, and we feel this hard mass over here, and that tells us we're at the level of the pyloric sphincter. So the pyloric sphincter is going to be our transition between the stomach and the small intestine, and more specifically the duodenum is going to be over here. So the duodenum is going to be normally pretty much anchored over here to the side over here. So it's going to be pretty stable in position. And the duodenum, we can. So two ways to recognize that a pin might be stuck in the duodenum, right? One is you see it's the immediate feed off of the stomach. Two, we can see this structure over here, and this structure is an exocrine and an endocrine gland. So we can see the head and the body over here, and that's our pancreas, right? So if this is our pancreas, then we know that we're looking at the level of the duodenum right here. All right, and what comes after the duodenum?
There are some permanent.
Yeah, jejunum, and then the
secondary
and then the ileum. So both of them in the cat are about the same size. So we don't need to differentiate between those two or where that transition might occur. Just know duodenum and then rest of small intestine, right? And both by their names. And then we're going to transition from the small intestines to the large intestine. The easiest way, as I'm moving this bundle around, can you see it? The easiest way to do it is to just flip it up and then find our descending colon over here, right? That descending colon. If we follow the descending colon up, then it's going to start moving across this way, and that's where it's known as the transverse colon, right? So we have descending here going to transverse, and then we see a short little ascending colon over here, and that's exactly what we're going to have over here. So our ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon. All right, and that's going to be connected then to our intestines. Okay, what's next?
Whatever, then the rectum opens into the anus.
Yep, poto shoots everything out. We're done. But now let's jump back up to the
pancreas, and it says head and tail. Try to locate the pancreatic duct.
Okay, so we have our pancreas, our head, and our tail coming around here. And let's take a look here. We can see the pancreas on this page over here, and there's another picture of it as well on page. Here, right? So we can see pancreas a little bit over here as well. I think we can see it better on our cat than in those pictures, right? And then there's another structure inside the liver, and that structure is the kind of embedded here in the liver. The gallbladder, right? And the gallbladder, tell her what page to flip to appreciate the gallbladder.
101.
101? All right. The gallbladder, we can see that we're going to have this structure coming down, this common bile duct, right? And if we follow the common bile duct down, then that's going to bring us down here towards the pancreas and the location of the main pancreatic duct, which is going to be located right in this region. So we can say the main pancreatic duct's likely right around here in this region. Okay.
The liver has 6 lobes: right lateral, right medial, caudate, and quadrate.
Okay, so what does caudate mean?
Tail.
Yeah, means towards the tail, right? So let's start there. We have our caudate, and she's gonna. Oh yeah, we're already there. Excellent job. All right, caudate, and then we move up. We've got the caudate, then the
quadrate.
Nope.
Right medial, lateral.
Right lateral. Then the medial, and then the
left
quadrate, and then she's got good eyes over there. And then
lateral.
left lateral, and then
Left medial.
Or left medial actually, then left lateral down here.
That's
right?
that little thing sticking
Yeah,
up?
yeah, little pinky guy sticking up over
That's
here.
the left lateral.
Yeah. Okay, so
I guess we can't learn our techniques.
all right, so that's our liver. We've got the gallbladder. We've got the common bile
Wait,
duct.
what's
We've got
the
the
little
pancreatic duct. Huh?
Left lateral. Left lateral.
Yeah. And we've got the pancreatic body, the head.
And the falciform ligament is part of the mesentery
Oh,
between
yeah.
the liver and the body wall.
Right. So here's the diaphragm, and then here's the ligament. So you can appreciate it when you pull on it like this and try to separate. And what it's going to do is help try to keep the proper positioning of the liver so that it doesn't float all around on you. Right.
Between the right medial and quadri lobes is the gallbladder that empties into the cystic duct.
Yeah.
Follow the cystic duct until it combines with the hepatic ducts to form the common bile duct.
And that's going to be all these guys that are going to come over here to form this common bile duct over here.
This joins the pancreatic duct to penetrate the duodenum at the pancreatic ampulla.
Right. So here we have the pancreatic head and the ampulla region over here, and this is our duodenum, right? And it's coming in here to penetrate right over here at the level of the duodenum. Yep. So if you have to have your gallbladder out, it's not ideal, but you don't necessarily need it. The liver will also be able to produce about 10% of that bile that can come in here, and it won't be such a big problem. About like something like, I don't know, I think it's like 20% of people by the time you're age 60 are going to have gallstones, and so some people will have to have it taken out.
Big and nasty.
Yeah. All right. So good. You want to sit on that cat, or are we good?
Where's the pancreas at?
Yeah. Okay. So if we find the stomach, then the duodenum,
The stomach, the duodenum. I know. Is that this right here?
and then we see pancreas here.
That's up the small intestine.
Go to the right side.
Oh.
Too much smaller. Yeah.
So the pancreas is
This is the pancreas?